On Sunday, President Joe Biden announced that he was withdrawing from the upcoming election. In his statement, Biden said it had been an honour to serve, but that it was in the best interest of his party and country to end his campaign. This is historically unprecedented. The last president to pull a similar stunt was Lyndon Johnson in 1968, but even that wasn't as dramatic as what we've just seen. Biden had already accumulated nearly all of the delegates to become the presumptive nominee for his party, and no major presidential candidate has ever withdrawn this late in the race in modern American history. So in this video, we're going to take a look at what just happened and why Kamala Harris now looks overwhelmingly likely to succeed Biden, whether she can actually beat Trump, and who Harris might pick as her VP nominee. Before we start, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell to stay in the loop and be notified when we release new videos. The prospect of Biden withdrawing from the race has been on the cards for a while, but before it actually happened, there was a degree of ambiguity over who might succeed him. While Vice President Kamala Harris was obviously the natural successor, as well as the only candidate who could legally claim Biden's campaign funds, there are a whole load of relatively popular younger Democrats who are polling better than Harris and touted as potential successors, including California Governor Gavin Newsom, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, and Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. A lot here depended on when Biden dropped out. In other words, whether he dropped out early enough for the Democrats to organize a competition, and whether he and other Democrat bigwigs endorsed Harris. However, because Biden dropped out as late as he did, and because basically every senior Democrat except Obama has endorsed Harris, she's now the clear frontrunner for the nomination. To give you a sense of the breadth of her support within the party, Harris has since been endorsed by Democrat elites like the Clintons, progressives like Ilhan Omar and AOC, who had previously resisted calls for Biden to withdraw, and even potential rivals like Gavin Newsom and Gretchen Whitmer. Some Democrat state delegations, including Tennessee, North Carolina, and South Carolina, have already announced that Harris will receive all of their state's delegates at the Democratic Convention in August. At time of writing, no other Democrat has announced their intention to stand against her in an open primary, and even if one were to happen, it looks overwhelmingly likely that she would win it. Now, in a sense, this is all a bit odd. After all, the Democrats got rid of Biden because they didn't think he could win in November. But Harris's approval ratings have actually lagged behind Biden's for most of the past 4 years. According to 538, Kamala's net approval has hovered around -15 since late 2021, with roughly 50 to 55% of Americans saying that they disapprove, and between 37 and 42% saying they approve. For context, Joe Biden's net approval rating hovered nearer -10 for most of this time. This is the main reason that the bookies currently still have Trump as the favourite, with the implied probability of him winning in November currently coming in at around 65%. However, a few caveats around Harris's polling are in order. For starters, she still polls better than Biden. Biden's approval rating has steadily declined over the past few months, and is now running at -18, while Harris's has ameliorated slightly to -12. Furthermore, while the data is limited, there's some tentative evidence that Harris polls better in swing states. Recent New York Times polling, for instance, suggests that Harris outperforms Biden by a couple of points in Pennsylvania and Virginia. Democrats are also apparently more optimistic about Kamala than you might assume from the polling for a couple of reasons. For starters, many Democrats hope that, because Harris is less of a known quantity than Biden, there's more space for improvement. Second, her apparent coronation has inspired newfound unity amongst Democrats, who had previously been beset by infighting between the pro- and anti-Biden camps, as evidenced by the massive upsurge in donations over the past couple of days. Third, switching Biden out for a younger candidate allows the Democrats to flip the age question onto the Republicans, and Democrats will be hoping her background as a district attorney pairs well with Trump's status as a newly convicted felon. She's also proven more willing than Biden to focus on abortion as an issue, which has proven an effective electoral tactic for the Democrats in recent elections. Nevertheless, even if Biden's withdrawal has apparently flummoxed the Republicans, Harris does have weaknesses. She's not a great debater or public speaker, and the Republicans will probably lean hard into her California background, which won't play well with the more conservative parts of America, who see California as out of touch and dangerously liberal. Harris might try to offset these weaknesses by picking an appropriate VP nominee. According to a CNN report, there are 4 names currently on the list. First is Arizona Senator Mark Kelly. Kelly used to be in the Navy before becoming an astronaut and retiring from service in 2011. Kelly was elected to the Senate in 2020 and an unexpectedly strong re-election victory in the 2022 midterms. While a historically red state, Arizona has been shifting to the Democrats, and Kelly would certainly put the Grand Canyon state in the Democratic column for November. However, many Democrats already think Arizona is a shoo-in, and Kelly's selection would trigger a Senate special election in 2026. Second is Andy Beshear, governor of Kentucky. Beshear is unique amongst his fellow Democratic governors, as he's the only Democrat governing a state that votes heavily Republican in presidential elections. Beshear has proven to be a successful candidate, winning not just 1 or 2 but 3 statewide races in Kentucky, a state that voted for Donald Trump by 25 points over Biden in 2020. Beshear on the ticket could give Harris appeal in Appalachia, a region that has shifted strongly against the Democrats, as well as states such as Ohio and Virginia. That being said, Beshear, even if on the ticket, will likely not shift Kentucky away from Trump, and Ohio and Virginia are projected to go red and blue by large margins come November. Also, some Democrats likely want Beshear to run for Senate in 2026, when Mitch McConnell retires. Third is North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper. Cooper is popular in the state, and North Carolina has trended away from the Democrats in recent years, starting with Mitt Romney's win in 2012 over President Barack Obama. While it voted Republican in the last 3 presidential cycles, the margins have been close, and Cooper could turn the state blue for the first time since 2008, given he's run in 6 statewide elections, 4 for Attorney General and 2 for Governor, and has won all 6. That being said, North Carolina feels like a long shot, and Cooper, who's 67, had planned to retire after his term as governor. Finally, we have the bookies' favourite, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. Shapiro won the 2022 election against Trump ally Doug Mastriano by 15 points, and is remarkably popular inside Pennsylvania, a key battleground state of 2024. Some Democrats are wary of Shapiro's staunchly pro-Israel stance, but if he ties up Pennsylvania, that's enough to pick him. If you want to learn more, then check out our physical magazine, Too Long. We've been working on this for a while now, but it's about to be printed and shipped. So here's everything you need to know. Too Long is 60 pages of our very best journalism, diving deeper into issues than we can on YouTube. As you can see from the front cover, this issue is focused on the UK general election, explaining what Labour want to do with their new huge majority, what each of the other parties are going to do next, and much more. It's more than just the UK though, with major stories from across Europe and the world, including the US election, the countries who could join the EU, the war in Gaza, and the European elections. We're really proud of how this product has turned out, and we think it's some of our best writing yet, able to dive into topics in a way that the algorithm just wouldn't allow. It's also a great way to support the channel, with the cost of production only increasing as we expand and advertising markets getting less stable. Your support helps us improve the business, improve our journalism, and helps us make more free YouTube content for everyone. If you're interested, you can go to toolong.news to buy a copy. There you'll find both standard and premium editions of the magazine, with the premium edition getting your name printed in the thank you section and getting you access to our behind the scenes podcast, The Bullpen. Premium editions will only be available until Thursday at 11 AM, when the print run begins, so you don't have long. You can also subscribe to Too Long, which gets you 25% off the price and a copy sent straight to you every 4 months. Subscribing really helps us turn this into a reliable revenue stream, which is super helpful when it comes to growing our business. Plus, if physical isn't your thing, then there's also digital versions. Anyway, sales close soon, so head to toolong.news to order now, and make sure to use code FINALORDERS to get an extra £2 off your purchase. Thanks for watching and for supporting TLDR.